Okay, so we have to page Kuf Nun Vov. He introduced a new concept here, which we're not used to. There's a cholis and spheres. So in the Olam Atzilus, you have this as spheres, and the Olam Biyah, we have the Zayin a cholis. He brought from Emek HaMelech, why is only Zayin a cholis, not 10? He answered that number one, that the Zayin a cholis of Biyah come from the Zayin spheres of Toyu, and the Zayin spheres are betmedius, they're constant. Mashen can the Gimel Shyness is not constant. It's only where Shabbat is also the Sat. Only to avoid there you get there, but on its own, you don't get it.
So here is saying that basically the Sefirot in the Biyah is called Hechalot.
Is what?
It's called Hechalot in the Biyah. Sefirot is called Hechalot, or they are different.
No, they're different. The sphere, the Olam of Biyah is a no. I didn't say that. This is the two things in Biyah. There's spheres, the 10 spheres, and then there is the Echolis. Look, he said like, the Echel is the Olam. Olam yeshes as spheres, Olam atzmai. It's not mamish like that. What Biyah is made up of Echolis, and the Echolis are only 7. The spheres express himself in only in 7 Echolis. Now, the rest. So then he said, what was it? Like 7 lines on the bottom. Because of Peretz Chaim. There's some things, some amshachas in the elements that I'm saying shayrish means that's the way it's set up. The system is set up. That's the way it was measured and set up. Should be in a specific way. So that level doesn't have a Geroin Vefsek. Doesn't have a it doesn't stop and it doesn't diminish. We call him a verb. Makamacha. So the Chagav is the Chagav and the Chotze Eagle. He brings in that within Seit Sheresh Gufa there are 2 stages. Gam bezeh yesh chiluk. So okay, you'll say for the Kabbalah, and then you'll express what it means in simple terms. Yesh chiluk im ayr meir v'zeh begil imamish afnes tzimtzum ve'elam keinen kanat estalek minayu yishtor kol gufa b'den shmas. So he says, "Wo mashiach ritzayni davot tol beichet pnimi v'ina yudim gashmi shaftachna dekem termitzach mishkos makamach." Okay, the last line is it brings it back into our own experience. So in other places it says that the difference between ichet pnim and ichet chitzoni, the difference between seit sheresh and seit the teisfus, that's ichet pnimi davo ichet chitzoni davo. In simple terms, it means that the seit sheresh, this is the way, this is the means to an end. That the Eibishter created a system, a shtalshlus. He has the ultimate purpose is to bring the likus in the elements. The dira betachtenim, but not for the tachtenim to dira to be, it has to be tachtenim. Such sheresh, that's the ichet chitzoni davo. That's what makes the system run not regularly. Say teisfus, which means they bring in the higher level, the higher level of halikus, the amadeg of halikus, and the insof. That's teisfus. And practically speaking, in our world, that's the difference between Nogas Teva and Teva Mitzvah, which is higher. So he says the Chotze Eagle that even in Teva, even the part of Teva, which is the part of Seit Sheresh, there's Madrigas in that Gufa. How does that express itself? That even the Hag of Teva, it depends on Teva Mitzvah. That's what he said. Ayudim Gashmi Madikim Teva Mitzvah. Even within Teva, some things are dependent on Torah mitzvahs. That's the Chagav. It doesn't. It brings it in just to clarify, but it doesn't add to the flow. But the point he's making is the second. That's the key point. Is the things that was said, nature, the laws of nature, the way the system is set up. That's constant, medius. Things that are just addition, musafim, it can be interruption. It's not constant. Okay, so it brings in, it goes back into spheres. So now he talks the way it is in Elam Atzilus. You have Zoh, the midas of Zoh. So the way the midas of Zoh were set up in the state Sheresh, it's only Vav Kav, it's only 6, it's midas, it's the midas itself. And then in certain times you have tastes, you have additional flow of godliness. In specific times, Shabbos and Yontiv, we have in Zoh, we have a higher level, we have Meich. Also, similarly, the Avodah every day, to the Avodah of Tefillah, which is only specific times, that adds also to the Hora Milmayla. That's something, it's not constant. Shabbos is over, the Tefillah is over, so it's up and down, it's not steady. So there's the same. It is explaining the Lashon Deimek HaMelech. Never says the design is that is diri, and the Meichin, that's only, it is also a sat. It's only something which is sporadic. It's not constant. So he explains that but the Lashon of the Deimek HaMelech according to what we said Prietz Chaim. So first he said the way it's in Zoh. Cheina Malchus, similar the way it is in Zoh, it's also in Malchus. Finas said Sheresh. That's like Nekuda Achas. Malchus on its own, that's what it says in Kabbalah, is a Nekuda Achas. It's one dot, it's one flow without the building. Over test spheres, but then the other 9 spheres, when they build Malchus, yeah, Boim Basei Teisvus is Uina Binyan Malchus. So Binyan Malchus is something which is Teisvus. It's an addition to the nature of Malchus. So we just described it in Zoh and in Malchus, but that is Zoh and Nukva, which means Zoh Malchus ein Moka Biyah, Valkein, the Biyah yesh bitmidas rak Zayin sphere, sheim Vav kam the Zoh Nekudas HaMalchus. So that's why in the Olam Biyah, you only have Zayin Echolas, which is the Vav Kav in the Zoh and Nekudas HaMalchus. He's going to discuss the concept a little more in Chassidish language later, so we're not going to get into it. Later he's going to talk about it more Chassidish. So now he's talking with Kabbalah language. So in the Kabbalah language, he says that in the Biyah they have Zayin and Cholis, and the other 3 are just an addition, which is not constant. In the La'asid, they have Zoh on the side church as spheres. La'asid Lavoi, but the union of the Zun has only 7 spheres, that's now. But the Sherish has spheres. Even the Sherish, the nature is also going to be 10, not 7, which causes we could tell he's all possible. The Kisva Rizal teaches that's the meaning of that the union of the connection of the spheres will be in a way that Zoh Malchus will also be Pseit Sheir. So he explains the Kabbalah. Said in Asham, we have now the Meichin, the Amshachas HaMeichin, the Zoh, like I said earlier, Bazmanim Dei Sotzen, Shabbos Yontev, Avedas Atfilah, that it says, Achshav, Einam Chnes Achdus V'Kishrim Asferes the Zoh. So when the higher level of Gilu is Nimshach and Zoh, it's not Chnes Achdus V'Kishrim, it's not total unity in connection. That's why they go back and forth. They leave. אבל לא עושה מבחינת אבא זה קשר בזמן מלכוס, מה שאין לא עושה לא between a total unity, זה עניין הווי אחד ושמו אחד. So that's why לא עושה לא, that's why now when they're not totally united, so the Zayin Echolos, so the עכשיו רק Zayin Echolos, that's the reason why now we only have Zayin Echolos, ובארץ ישראל like Zayin Echolos. And that's so, like we mentioned before, that we conquer only the 7 hours. The Zov Nuk will contain the higher 3 levels also. Maybe all 10 will be together. B'Shleimus, Be'eretz Yisrael Gam Ken Asaotz. Keinu l'shitas Emek HaMelech. So that this is why we described what the Emek HaMelech said before, that Elam is via the total is only 7. That's why it's 7 echolos from the Zem Lai Malach and the Toyum. Mashenk and the other 3 are not constant. So that's how we explained the sugi we started before. Why now we are only Eretz Zayin Amamin. Last law will be also a Kenik Nizav Kadmaini, which means we're going to have all 10. So Rob Bat, he says, he says that this explanation is lacking. Why? Still, we just said before that Torah is also the Torah avoid the Bi'amam Shemaychim Biyah. So it's basically he's not satisfied with that answer. The answer that Zayin Echos because we need this also Sata to bring it. It's not an I don't know. I'm not sure. He's not happy with that answer. The answer why there's only Zayin. But yes, in the movement. The kinds of the Echos exist in Atzilus also. But Atzilus Gam Ken Rak Zayin Echos. And it talks about the Echos and Atzilus, the Kabbalah also uses Zayin Echos. It's also Zayin Echos. But the Atzilus necessary Shleimus. Yes, a Kodesh Sham Kosav, the Mechitzayin is like him. There's a spheres never Echolis. Yes, a Kodesh talks about as Atzilus is also Echolis, and they create Mechitzayin is like him. Lama Rak Zayin. So Mamel, is not happy with the answer of the Emek. Movam is not only that. It's again, it's a little. It's not the standard language of cities, but basically it's almost like a pilpul nigla. Movam is that the Gamma should be Zayin Echos. Ein ze mitam Emek HaMelech. Okay, so first he brought up Emek HaMelech and he explained it with Setcher, take it, but then he's not satisfied with that answer. The answer is not good enough. So it should to understand this whole concept better, we'll understand first what Echolis is. From our perspective, we'll probably understand Emek HaMelech better too, because till now it was only like very Kabbalah language. Let's see what.
I have a question.
Yeah.
From the mimer that was posted from the
Middle Rebbe, right?
That's it. So what's the third level over there? That Mashiach is B'itach Shen. I don't understand. What does it mean?
No, I'll be honest with you. I didn't really learn the whole thing yet. Okay, I'll read it. I'll try to.
I'm just curious to understand the third way of how Mashiach could come. B'itach Shen.
I'll look at it. I didn't look. I just wanted it because I think it's related to our Maimon. See, our Maimon also is the pasuk of Tatzos Moed. I didn't learn it yet fully. I didn't go all the way to Atach Hishen.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, I'll look at it. So he says like this. Yesh lahagdim et Isa b'Zoya. So now he goes back to Chassidus. Lahagdim et Isa b'Zoya. Kadiskav v'sitrach yistar yikot k'shvich v'kol. Not this famous Zohar we all remember from the Maimer of Basar Lagani. That the Katiskaf and Sitrach will be overpowered. So the glory of the Ebershter will shine, I guess. So that's what he says. Why is Stalik removed? Stalik ain't going to Siluk ve'ele. Shezeo Giroin ve'eder. Siluk, something Lashon Stalkos means Siluk ve'eder. Giron ve'eder, that's the lack of oil. Kana kavana adar gile. Here in our Maimah, the mean in the Zohar here is stark mit verkehrt. The ultimate, the gile. Mashkot is stark. Weiß called is stark. It's a flaw. The reason they use the mashni stark is because it shows what quality, the quality and the loftiness of the oil. Show mufla v'nelam shel gam gam kabel. It's a type of oil which is wonder and hidden above the makabel. So that oil is oil makib, which is above the makabel. So that is a type of oil which is above, like oil shalamayla makabel. Taste brach. Mash. It goes back to the language before. The mash Rabbi said shayresh. The gila likus, which is said shayresh, which is just the basics. That so that's measured and set up according to the abilities of the elements. As long as the makablim can handle. Mashenken maki, which is a tasteless bracha, that's above the makablim. Another point. The lashon is this glory of the Eibishter is rises. It rises. It rises in all the elements equally. Why? Looking which is whose function is to be internalized, so that depends on the makabel. The fiach makabel. Male each olam is the fiach. It's not b'shav. But give it now. Machasheni mashbech olam is kolam and b'shav. That is the start of the how do we draw? How do we mamshif that the maki, which is stali b'chulam b'shav? That's to iskaf. That's to the avodah of bending and overpowering the sitrach. The Isra Nachesha, that's because there's a special Isra an advantage light comes from darkness. So they build a Chesha, and that's there's Isra Who Pchinas Tesis says, Shtim Shabbatik, and the Bish was again the Toy. So it brings in again the language Toyo, what we said earlier. Look, even in the Emek HaMelech, he said the design Malch is connected to Toyo. So this concept of the Isra oil, that's to the tick beer of second the toy. The dogma k'moshe adam makabel chayes ma'maychel that the doim tzamech v'chay. That's the same concept we learned in the Bible before. Why do human beings have to eat things from doim tzamech chay, which is the Lord, and that and through that they get the makabel chayes, because in the shor machmas shor shemakodem chnes moitze pi havai shebetoy. It says, which mitzvah Betoy, which is identical. So Toyo is like maki. So what does it mean? It's not so first we're talking about food, pashtus, the person lives from it. But here we're talking in a more spiritual state. The ruchn is the highest. The person separates and elevates. In his eating, and all his gashim, his operation, he overpowers and the chumris, the materialism. Like the Zohar said, that when you eat bread, it's like with the cher, with the sword, which means it's a war. You have to fight the tyrants. The Nefesh Habam on its own desires the physical pleasure of the Maich. So that he's going into a long sentence here. So that is spoiled the biur agash. When the person is machnia, that's the chereb. He's overpowering the type of gashmis. But in order to reach that stage, Remember, he said earlier, you can't eat before davening. Why? In order the eating should be done properly, because tefillah. In order to reach that, they have to have a tefillah. What does tefillah mean? It's beinus balikus. Tefillah is the time when we contemplate that godliness. Not stopping. And tefillah, we are contemplating in concepts in likus that even the nefesh habahamis can also relate to and understand. That the nefesh habahamis should comprehend and understand the godliness, the beauty, the benefit, the goodness of a likus. And he comes to the conclusion that he has to desire only godliness, not the materialism. It describes in 2 lines the basic Tanya talks about it. The Chassidus view of davening. What does davening mean? Davening is the time when the person concentrates within himself to direct all his desires to the proper direction. It should only be interested in the likus, not in materialism. Then he eats after davening. So it's easier for him to actually what's the word? To execute to follow up and actually do it is food. No way. And the achila ba'ir shalina mashachat kind of gashmi kim kol kam l'asla shem shamayim. When he comes from the proper davening, the eating is also in a way that he eats on Hashem Shamayim. Shebekach achila yilon v'isval. What's Hashem Shamayim? That he eats not because he has the taiva, but but in order to have koyach from the food, so that way of eating is I'm constantly looking for good words for mevar. Elevates the Michael Shemafel Menasara, Malas Atay, separates the good from the bad. The bad, the evil is like removed, and the good part is elevated. The Commercial Kosu, but the Mamas Rosh actually he quotes the Maimah we learned before, the Maimah we just learned before. So then the nitzutzis of the Michael, and through that, there's a taste of chayes, like we learned in the Maimah before. That mile toy, and then you get to higher. Keino bedugma kazois, just like it is in every individual person's experience. Bedugma kazois, but see adam alien the tikkun. So the general concept of Eilam HaTikkun is shenim shal teisus eres adabirum the toy. Chlolos Eilam is that to the bir Eilam the toy is the nim shal teisus eres and Eilam HaTikkun. Finally, there birum the shamas Solam Ato. So that's a result of the avoid of the birum shamas Solam Ato. Kamayim by Solam Afanis and Lavim Shava Shamayim. That's the Gemara that says Medrash that Eden Kaviyachol feed Avim Shava Shamayim. I know. The Gemara says that the Medrash says in Pashas Pinchas, "Skarboni lachmi." He brings right and shiur is b'shmei tzidin, like they feed him to tzinik, which because of Karboni is Skarboni lachmi. The Karboni is a kovas nefesh habahamis, called Borim Shachim nefesh habahamis, to the elevating of nefesh habahamis. That's what Karboni is. Aydezeh mafas avim shel shemayim. Zeo the gam. Okay, so he brought the English. So, in other words, to explain the concept, we have to get to Echolas, but he's getting this slowly. So, first, he describes the whole concept of that to the biurim of Sitra is Kafas Sitra, Mamshach Melamayla is called the Kutshabricha, Mamshach the Gila Naila, a higher level of oil, and that fulfills the Kavana of what the Eibishter wants to bring down the glory. The Eibishter Cholen was the shock. So that's the taste. Omnam Adain Tzarech La'avi, but he gets more into it. So till now we already said that we have this talk through to the biurim of the mitzvahs of toil, to like the food, for example. Says yes, taste v'seres b'tikun gam shleim. There's a concept of taste v'seres in tikkun, not to biurim of toil, not to dealing with elevating something that fell low. There are other ways to get taste v'seres. For example, we just bought a dogma from the elevation of the food, and it says those nefesh habam is. I'm sorry, nefesh lekis no matter. In avodas Hashem, in davening, we find not only that taste v'seres that comes from biur ha'meichel. There's also other ways. Nefesh lekis no matter. Gam shelo the biur nefesh habam is yesh taste v'seres nefesh lekis. There's a concept of taste v'seres. We get more an addition of godly energy, not through the biur nefesh habam. What is it? When davening, not all davening is about. In other words, he speaks beremes. We say first. Remember, in davening, when we in other Maimon Chassidus talks about it, the parts of davening with the shach nefesh habam. It's like psukkah de zimra, Allah Hashem nashamayim, Allah b'amreim, and also in Bichas Krishma, Yetz Malachim. All talks about how the Olamais are but the Eibush. So that's something nefesh habam is related. But there's other parts of davening which is not related to nefesh habam. It just speaks about the greatness of the Eibush, unrelated to nefesh habam. There's a So there is in davening, he says there are two parts. There's the part which is related to biur nefesh habam, but there's also parts of davening which relates to connecting that their nefesh connects the contemplates the greatness of the Eibush unrelated nefesh habam. Another example is learning Torah. So there's also I'm shocking it's not related to nefesh habam. It's just learning Torah. In all these tastes, the one that comes from tefillah, which is not connected to nefesh habam, the one that comes from Torah is also a market. Pnimi is something we already have. You need an addition. Mandy, you want to ask something? Mandy?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Just something fell on my phone. Yeah.
No problem. Okay. So, Mele came Mao Indian Israel. So in that case, just ask the question: why do we say only kadiskafes itachis alkot b'shabush? We find those kinds of tastes oil in avodas Hashem, which is not necessarily connected to biur ha'cheshach. We have tastes oil stam. So what is the advantage of this and that? So okay, Ma'in is not showing biur ha'cheshach. But tzarich loymar. So the answer is that the level of makif that we get through the biur ha'cheshach is a higher level in the say taste gufa. It's a higher level. We get from a higher level of makif than we get from the regular makif. Because pnimi is a makif, shemud not pnimi. So it gets into discussion. The inner noida should share pnimi uber makif. Bechlal the pnimi comes from the makif. Yes, by makif base madrigas. That's what it says. Very makif itself is two madrigas. Aleph am ashayach al pnimi. There's a level of makif which has a relation, connection to the pnimi. Base, then there's a higher level of makif shein shayach al pnimi klal. So the two levels no makif. There's makif shayach al pnimi, makif shein shayach al pnimi. Close makif makif is behelem, and something that's surrounding you. It doesn't. You're not getting it internally. It's hidden. It's a state of. It's like hidden from you. It's not really internalized. So in helem we also find two. Just like we said in makif, the two madrigas. So that explains better. In helem there are two madrigas. Yesh p'nes elem shayach alagilu bo elem shalagilu. Elem shalagilu means something that I'm gonna reveal, but before I reveal it, it's hidden. It's the same. It's the same thing that I'm gonna reveal, but at first stage it's hidden and then it's revealed. Yes, and then something that's be'etzem hidden cannot be revealed. These two, sometimes they're called the two levels in sosum. Sosum is also hidden. It's another way of saying. Something that it's hidden from the Makablim, that Makablim are not yet Makablim. So it's only Sosum B'yachas to the Makablim. So then there's a higher level of Helem, which is Ein Begeder Gil. It's Chal not Shaykh to Gil. But Zeo Efesh when Stacy says now. So these two madrigas in Makif and in Helem and in Sosum, that explains what we said earlier, two levels in the same taste.
I think that's what it says, Setima Dechor Setimin, no?
Yeah. So what is the two madrigas? The mashim shachnes atikum tzad atzmoi, the level, let's say since atikum tzad atzmoi, that we said, like for example, nefshel kissen davening or Torah, zeu. זהו, מבחינת ההלם של הגילי. העולם שמבחינת ההלם האטר שלנו בעצם, זהו, די ברורים דווקא. מה שאין, we say, which means to the biurim, to that we reach a higher level of helm. But attack alien, but a tasteless, but not something that's natural, but there's two madrigas in that group. There's a low madriga within the makif. Just nimshach me'atzmai, or in avodas, in davening, or even learning. Then there's a higher level, which is only to the biur aklitus, to the biur of shvir sakenim detoy. That reaches the higher level of the sos. Inyan hu, Sinai develops that gufa a little more. The mash, the inyan hu, sorry, in the base of the Salman now, these two madrigas in Helem. That's the topic, but I think we learned it in this sefer, yeah? Was it in this sefer or in another sefer? I forgot already. Second. Let me see. Oh yeah, and Shmini Atzeres. All right, in the beginning of this sefer, we had all our arichos about Elam Shein and Mitzias, Elam Sheyesh Mitzias. So Elam Sheyesh Mitzias, I know Shub Chnes Mitzias Dova Gam Shach Lam Sham Mitzias Shlagil Kolaboy. The Elam Sheyesh Mitzias is a type. It's a tangible being, and the Gil is Kolaboy. No, what's a Be'elam? Be'elam Sheyesh Mitzias Shein Chnes Mitzias Be'etzem. It's Be'etzem not something tangible. Kamayim Lav Inan Nahiri. It's an expression in Zohar. Lav Inan Nahiri. The way the Eires are in Be'elam Lav Inan Nahiri. They're not even called the lights. The Eires. Ein Mitzias Agil Kolam Shum. I know Ach. They Lam Chnes Elam Shein Mitzias Zer Derech Ha'izodaf. It's Bechlal the regular way of what we can be mamshach is only elam sheyesh b'mitzias. Elam she'ein b'mitzias, we cannot be mamshach in the regular way of things. How do we reach that elam she'ein b'mitzias? That is the Chayza. That's the avodah of birur. A mashal was a yadua. That's the famous mashal. We learned also, like I said earlier in the beginning of the sefer, in Ma'am Shmini Atzeres, and a lot of places on Siddur, famous mashal. The difference in Eisha Bagachelis and Eisha B'Tzorach HaLomish. There's a coal. The coal has hidden fire within it. When you blow it, fire comes out. And there's fire within the flintstone. That blowing doesn't help. You have to hit the rock to get fire from that. So that's the standard famous martial siddhas. The difference in Elam Sheyesh Mitzias, Elam She'ein Mitzias. So now. So that's how he says it here. The marshal was a the marshal of Elam Sheyesh Mitzias is known. It's compared to the fire within the coal. So we look at the coal, a hot coal, but we don't see any fire. It's hidden. The fire is hidden. But it's still a real fire within the gachelis. It's hot, but it's hidden. It's not a revealed fire like the flame that comes out of the coal. It's hidden. I don't know. That's interesting what he says here. That it says in it's explained in the Nimshla, I guess, the one of the two madrigas, the Ashes, the Terha, and then it comes out. Even the fire within the coal, where we don't see it, it's hidden, but it's fire. It's real fire. It's hot. And the flintstone, the stone that we hit in order to get fire out of it, there's no mitzias of fire. You want to extinguish the fire within the coal, you throw in the coal and water, that's it, no more fire. If you put the rock in the fire in the water, it's not going to take away the ability to get fire out of it, because there was no mitzias to extinguish it. Yes, effort got b'nei. So now he says there's the other difference between these two stages in the fire, the way the fire is contained within the coal and the way the fire is contained within the stone. The fire within the coal has a limit. After a while, it dissipates, it stops to burn. The fire within the stone doesn't have expiration date. It's always possible to hit the stone and get fire out of it. What is the meaning of that? Because in the Eish is a real tangible fire. There's a limit. There's a limit how much you can burn. Because there's not something tangible, so it's not existing anymore. So you can't say it stops. There's nothing there to stop. It's just a potential. So, but to get to us is another point. By Fanet, so I say there's a huge difference. So there's a mile and Esha b'tzorach halom, which ain't like Agbola. But by Fanet, so how do you derive real fire out of them? The fire within the coal, there's no need for working hard, exerting itself to take the fire out. You just blow, you use a blower to blow here, and the fire comes out. Like we see in a barbecue. You blow fire on the coals, and the fire is out. The fire comes out either way. But in order to reach fire out of the rock, you need very high, strong energy to hit the rock in order to get fire out of it. So that's an important distinction. Something that's there, in order to reveal it, you don't need that much effort. In order to reveal, to bring out something which doesn't exist, turned into a new being, it requires much more effort. What's the mashal? There's another mashal now in Nefesh Adam, which we learned a lot of places. Here brings again this interesting concept. So we find a mashal with these two stages of Yalom Sheyesh Mitzvahs. We find it also in Koyach HaNefesh. The koyach hamaskil u'makar asech. The koyach hamaskil, the ability to innovate in our mind, is makar asech. That's the makar of the intellect. The koyach hamaskil itself, in its potential state, when we say this child is a very, very good head. It's just the potential. He has the potential to get something. But that potential is Muslim sichli. It's not a tangible intellect. So it's like the two things. On one hand, it's begeder seichel. Yeah, this person has a good head, but the fact that he has a good head means nothing. It's not seichel. What's the eye? The koyach hamaskel, the way it's already in the later stage, and a person's talent, intellectual talent, is diverted, not just diverted, it's expressed, manifests itself in specific types of disciplines. He has the ability to innovate and to come up with intellectual ideas in one discipline more than in another. We see practically speaking, we look at the people, we see differences. One person has a very good head for math, for example. So when he'll study math, he'll do great. But when it comes to stamping examples, the writing, let's say, writing up a nice essay is not shy to it. He has a good head for one thing, not for something else. The other person's the opposite. Because at that stage, the koyach hamaskel has already lowered himself in the stage that he has a shape. So in the lower stage of the seichel, when the person is already defining where his talents are strong, so that in that stage he's good at one thing, he's not good at something else. But that the fact that every nefesh, the Rebbe created every neshama with a koyach hamaskel, it has this inner ability to use the mind, use the intellect. That is ein begeder sichli klal klal. Ein by kol achlukim anal. In the koyach hamaskel, you can say the koyach hamaskel really asks me. It's also one of these mashal in Chassidus, which we have to try hard to imagine what he's talking about, because I don't know if I can illustrate. But I remember one Maimah below, and they said that even a person has a shaita otzum, deep inside he also has a koyach hamaskel. So I don't know what it means in real life. Basically, the only thing we can say is, like it says, summa meilik shalom. Just like we find that somebody is blind, and his child can see. Why is it? Because be'etzem the summa also has the koyach here, but it can't be expressed in his state because of his body, etc. So maybe we can say the same thing here, that we see that the person is very simple, and then his child is all of a sudden very smart. So we must say that the seichel ha'atzmi, the parent also had in him, but it was hidden. In other words, everybody has this ultimate abstract potential to reach as much to reach very high, but the pearl doesn't manifest itself. It doesn't express itself. That's the only mashal I can think of. What it means? What does it mean? It means it has that abstract potential for seichel, but it never. But he can say that the abstract potential is more for this type of discipline, that type of discipline, because it's above these distinctions. Okay, we're still in the process of developing this whole concept. In a when a person comes up with a new idea, a new innovation, what is the source? The source is, like we just said, because he has a good head or whatever, he has the style. Well, I know, but what does it mean? But that level of the second level he spoke about. אבל אין נמשך ככה שכל אלוהי העצמי. But it doesn't come when a person comes up with this innovation. It's not a direct expression of the seichel Yulia Atzmi that he has in nefesh. R'Dovid Olidort. Even a smart person, there's a limit how far you can go. There's a limit how far he can innovate. אם היה משך בנס ככה שכל עצמי, הרי לא יהיה בזה הגבול לכלל. אלא שזה נמשך ככה מסך לבד. Okay, it goes on for a long time yet, so we'll continue tomorrow. But basically, he wants to show how in the koichas seichel we also have these two stages: the elam shiur to mitzvah, elam sheinu mitzvah. We're gonna restart tomorrow for the little earlier and we'll continue the concept. All right.
Shikaya.
Yeah.